G'day. So I want to make a video just to explain and define what the mind is, and to bring to awareness just some ideas of how to be aware of, obviously the three parts of our being, which is body, mind, and soul. So I wanted to firstly define the mind, and to break it apart a little bit, just to break apart some of those old belief systems and the old patterns, etc., that can come into our awareness at any point, in any moment, and to allow people out there to one day recognize that there is a higher truth. There is a version of yourself which doesn't quite always have to involve the mind. The mind is, it is great, it is a gift, it is a tool. However, I guess we've kind of turned it almost against itself. We've almost let it run wild a bit. We've let it control us, as opposed to recognizing our own control and our the process in which to begin to take back control, and to let go of a lot of those stories, and I guess those let's just say those opposing vibrations, or those, I don't like the word negative, but in this context I could say lower vibrations or negative vibrations, which may not always mean don't be negative, have to be positive all the time. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just to let go of those negative lower vibrational ideas of who we are. And a lot of times we've attached a lot of those ideas to these emotions, and a lot of these emotions we're on autopilot, so we just, everybody else is doing it, so let's just, if you feel certain emotions, well, that must mean this. And if you feel anger, well, that must mean this is why you feel anger, and this is what you need to do about it. And irritations, and all of these, I guess, these vibrations that are within our energy field. So our energy field is expansive, so we've, on a higher perspective, and a more true perspective, and to be aware of that expansiveness, as opposed to the limiting confines that a lot of our minds are kind of trapping us in. And for better explanation, I'm not trying to say, well, the mind's the enemy and to fight with your mind, because I guess the mind is a lot of accumulative ideas and beliefs of others. And I would have to say, a very large percentage of a lot of the thoughts we have, and a lot of the strong emotions that we have, a lot of the times we have taken on, so we can take a lot of those energies, those vibes, those vibrations on from other people. And then the thoughts, I guess, that we have attached to that particular emotion can be what actually feeds that particular emotion. And not only does our let's just say that person, that specific emotion that is felt by you, it actually feeds, because energy travels, see, it actually feeds, I guess, the person, the person that triggered that emotion, it actually feeds their energy. So basically, we're kind of walking around in this world, and obviously a lot of people are aware of these triggers. So there's the trigger, and then there's the emotion that's there, and then there's the thought that's there. Okay, so I feel shame, just for an example. That is because I did this, because I deserve to feel shame, because I was a bad person, because I fucked up, because I can't get anything right, because these are all the stories and the bullshit stories that, and these stories feed that emotion. They feed the shame. And not only do they feed the shame, they actually feed the, let's just say let's the person or the thing that triggered the particular that particular thought and that particular emotion. So it could be, just for an example, could be like, a lot of times it's, it's parents, or it's somebody that's been in your life for quite some time, and I guess, for lack of a better analogy or description of the dynamic of that person can sometimes be feeding can sometimes be feeding off your energy. So a lot of times, a lot of parental figures, or you know, people of influence in your life can be triggering these things, maybe unconsciously, subconsciously, possibly consciously. They might be trying to, they want you to feel bad, they want you to feel like shit, and then they feed off that energy. They enjoy that control, so they like to see you feel shame, they like to see you suffer, and they like to see you feel unsafe and scared and etc. It makes them feel powerful. They feel more dominant. They feel more superior. So I guess, and a lot of times when you become aware of this, and you might see these patterns, in your particular life, and how your own mind has been hijacked, has been hijacked by these ideas. And I guess the higher truth of it is the to let go of those thoughts that come up with when the trigger, or a situation triggers these patterns. And it is tough. It's tough. It's quite painful. And the person that may have triggered you, or triggered the mind, I should say, triggered those subconscious patterns, they don't give two fucks. They don't care. They're they get your energy. They're feeding off your energy. So essentially, this can basically mean that you're giving all your energy away. You're giving your good energy, your good, it might be positive, you could call it positive energy, or your good vibes, you're giving them away, and you're I guess, feeding another person's energy and zapping your own energy. So you might feel depleted all the time because you're constantly reacting to these triggers. And I guess to release the mind, and to release yourself from those triggers, is quite simply to recognize them. Recognize the triggers, recognize what's going on, recognize it is another person, I guess, controlling your energy and where you put your energy. I get so many people, they come to me, and they're in this situation where they're constantly triggered. Okay, I feel unsafe when this person's around. Well, are you unsafe? Is it that the situation where you're unsafe? Is there something that you need to do to I guess, to, protect yourself in that way? Or is it just your ego feels unsafe? Is it just that personality? I mean, let's just say the little boy or the little girl that's in there that, I guess, subconsciously feels unsafe around particular types of people, and that the trigger of unsafe. So you're going to feel that trigger of unsafe, and it's about identifying, okay, there's the trigger of, there's that trigger. That person may be the trigger, or that situation is the trigger, and there's the emotion to feel unsafe. And I feel unsafe. I feel threatened, and I guess it's retraining the mind that, well, is this a threatening situation? Is there something that I can do to physically protect myself? Do I need to? Is this a psychological thing? This is mind stuff? Can this be let go of? Can this energy be transmuted into a recognition that, there is a divinity that is inside of us all, and it, I guess, can, our soul, our higher self, our consciousness, it's is that running in your life? Are you aware of those things? Are you aware of, there is something bigger than me, there is something greater than me, and it is also you. So it's not about being separate of it. It's about recognizing that it's running in your life, and if that's running in your life and you are aware of these things, well, you are safe. It's as simple as that. And I guess it's the journey of the soul, or the journey of that higher consciousness, possibly, that is triggering these things. The soul is bringing you situations to trigger you out of mind, to trigger that pain, trigger you to look at the pain, to intensify the pain, and bringing people into your life that are, painful people. And when I say painful people, I mean people that carry pain, inflict pain, and they want to see more pain. So it's about you recognizing that a lot of people that can carry that pain, and they're not willing to face it and release it, will keep inflicting pain on you. And it's about you recognizing, well, do I deserve it? And I can tell you the answer to that. No, you fucking don't. You don't deserve that. However, it's important to understand that that person possibly will never change, possibly will never be ready to face their own pain. But are you? Are you willing to let go of your pain? Are you willing to recognize that shame that is triggered isn't you? That hatred, the hatred that they're triggering, they're feeding off that energy. They're still feeding off your energy, even though you're thinking about how much you hate that person. Your energy's traveling to them, and they're fucking loving it. They're feeding off it. They want to feel hated subconsciously, and they want that admiration. So they want that validation as well. So it's a vicious cycle. You can get stuck in the cycle with these types of people, and all your energy. Think about it. Well, if they're around you and they're constantly feeding off your energy, what energy do you get? Is that going to be the type of person who is going to give you back, let's just say, positive vibrations and good energy? Is that type of person going to be somebody who's going to let you rise? Is it going to let you be your best self? Or is that person just going to tell you that and subconsciously or even consciously be chopping you down? So do they want you to stay down? Because if that is the case, well, there's patterns of superiority. So there's going to be a person who, in that dynamic, that relationship dynamic, well, it could be a parent dynamic, it could be any kind of dynamic. In that dynamic, there has to be the most superior, in that relationship, and the insuperior person who believes they're shit. They believe they're nothing. They believe they're worthless. They believe they're scum of the fucking earth. And then you've got the opposing energy, which might believe that they're fucking the best thing since sliced bread. They are God. They are all powerful, all this shit, and they believe this in their mind, and do you think that somebody who needs to maintain that superior idea about themselves is going to let you get anywhere even near close to believing that you're, and realizing and recognizing that you are, you are beautiful, you are actually, possibly even on the same level as that person? What I'm saying is on a more healthy, peaceful level, or to have a healthy view of yourself, and a healthy view of all those parts of yourself, all those little parts of that personality, the ego. No, they're fucking not, man. Because if that happens to you and you actually realize how great you are, well, hey, where does that leave them? They're going to feel inferior to you, aren't they? And they're going to challenge you. They're going to be petrified of that. So they're not going to, they might be telling you, oh yeah, I want to support you, I want this and I want that. When it comes to the crunch, it's they want you down. They want you down underneath their boot. And there is a point where, there is a point, and it's a soul guiding point. It's a soul guiding point in our life where we wake up and we realize, well, what the fuck's going on here? This person, they tell me that they love me, and they treat me like this. What the fuck? And then I take it, and I take it, and I take it, and I take it. And I believe that one day, I believe them over I guess, my own intuition and my own gut and my own soul, that you believe them over your own little inklings, that tell you, no, that's not right. There's something not right here. Well, there isn't. There is something not right there. And it's about realizing and recognizing and listening to yourself as opposed to listening to other people. And I guess that's where it's the separation of the conditioned self, the conditioned mind, the conditioned thoughts, the conditioned thoughts that we have attached to our emotions, which is distorted the perception of our identity. So, and we can go even deeper into who we are, and who we are is beyond belief. Simple as that. It's just beyond belief. We are the soul. However, we do experience the mind and the physical reality around us from day to day. So we do, I guess we need to give these things attention and look at these patterns and look at these triggers. And sometimes we might need to separate ourselves from a lot of these triggers, and because if you're stuck in those emotional patterns in shame and hatred and etc., and those cycles, a lot of the times it makes it very hard to see, feel who you truly are, because you're constantly experiencing who you're not. You're constantly experiencing the triggers of shame, and we're not shame, of hate. We weren't born to hate. We learnt it. We don't need to fucking hate, and it achieves nothing. We feel like shit when we hate. We can use anger, because anger is a positive emotion, and all emotions are positive. It's just we've attached these ideas and identities to these emotional patterns, and we've actually fed the emotional patterns, and these emotional patterns have turned into monsters and taken over our lives. And we've forgotten that emotions are a moment-to-moment experience, and we don't need to feed those emotions. We don't need to attach an identity to the emotion. We can experience the emotion itself, and by choosing to do that, we can release. We can let go. And that's the beauty of what we are. As the soul, as the consciousness, as the awareness, is we can be aware of these things, and we can let them the fuck go. Do I want this to be part of myself? Do I want shame? Well, you might be experiencing some shame. You might be experiencing some guilt. You might be experiencing some anger, and you might You know, might be listening to those thoughts that, oh, I hate that person, oh, I fucking, you know, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I need to, when I feel this, I need to do something about it. Well, to do something about it and to act on those thoughts is to feed it. And a lot of the times, to, especially at this point in humanity, this point in you know, in this let's just say the tipping point, the pivot point of this point in humanity's history right now. So this is where we we firstly are becoming aware. So we're waking up. We're waking up to a better version of ourselves, a higher version of ourselves, a higher truth of ourselves, letting go of the bullshit. We can let go of any thoughts that are there. We don't need to pay them so much attention. We don't have to believe these thoughts. Just because other people want us to, we don't have to. And just because other people do believe, you know, in their particular circles that these things are true about you, or they're true about themselves, or whatever, they might believe they're more superior than everybody else. Well, let them. Fuck them. You know, you don't have to reiterate that. And, you know, we don't need to believe that we're more superior than anyone else either. You know, it may be the truth of it. You know, it could be the truth that, you know, you may be chosen as part of a revolution, or part of a higher truth in expansion of humanity. Expansion, which is to open the mind and to let go of the past mind and embrace the the best identity you can be, the best person you can be, the best vibrations. Take on those vibrations. You know, you can let go of those lower vibrations and move into a higher vibrating self, a higher vibrating personality. And people won't fucking like that, especially people that have been around your life, and you know, they might be threatened by you, etc. They might be, you know, they might have, you know, they want to be stuck in their old ideas around who you are, because, you know, you're supposed to be this person, but now you're behaving differently, so that must mean there's something wrong with you, and they'll try and get you to believe it. So it's about recognizing those patterns, and you can't change the person, because that's what they're trying to do to you. You know, it doesn't work. You don't try and change people. It's just letting go of those patterns. Well, you let go of, I guess, the patterns which were controlling you. So, shame. You know, let go of the story around the shame. Let go of the story that you need to feel bad about anything, because you fucking don't. You know, the past is gone. You know, the future's not here yet. We're here now, and now, I guess, and like I say, the soul, the consciousness has the wheel of your life. You know, and possibly a lot of the people that will watch these videos in the future will be coming into that awareness, and it's to recognize, fuck, I am part of something bigger. I'm part of something, you know, that's greater than the conditioned world at large. You know, and possibly I'm a leader. You know, you mightn't feel like a leader. You might feel like shit. You might feel like insuperior. You might feel less than anybody else. Those patterns of insuperiority are bullshit. You know, shame as an emotion is as it is. So if it's triggered, it's triggered, and the body's job is to release the shame. The body's capable of releasing that emotion if you let it. It's about letting go of the resistance to the shame and allowing yourself to feel it. And by letting go of the resistance to the shame is to let go of the thoughts and the ideas that you have around shame. So basically, it's okay. I feel this emotion. I don't know why. Whereas other people will try and get you to believe, and possibly your past self might want you to believe that you feel shame because you did this, because you're a bad person, because you're naughty, you know, etc., etc. Well, that's the bullshit. To let go of those ideas, and I guess to understand that there's a higher power that runs through us, and if it's becoming prevalent in your life and it's becoming known, wants you to know it, and it wants you to recognize more and more and more through each moment of letting go that you are closer to it than you realize, and you can allow it to take over, to take control of your life, to show you who you fucking are, to show you who is the best version of yourself, to show you your capabilities, to let that shit run wild, to maybe you might be the, you hide away and not show yourself, etc., which most of us, a lot of us do, and that's conditioned. And to recognize that everybody is individual, everybody has their own individuality, everybody has their own gifts, everybody has their gifts to give back to the world. And so possibly part of your gift may be to stand up for your fucking self, to stand strong, to speak up for people that were like you or are like you, etc. What I'm saying is stuck in those patterns, and it could be that possibility. There could be a higher truth for why you were born, a higher truth about who you are. And it's like what a lot of people say, to be soulful and to bring a little soul into your life. And quite simply, to me, to bring soul into your life is to bring other states of mind into your life. And firstly, to go through that transition period, to face the pain, to release the pain, to let go of the pain. And with that, along go the thoughts. The thoughts, they disappear, and what's there when they're gone? The thoughts of being lost, and the thoughts of needing to be found, and the thoughts of somebody's going to save me, and the thoughts of when is this going to end, and the thoughts of what's some of the thoughts? Is this going to get better? All of these things, they're all just thoughts, and they carry with them particular vibrations. And that vibration, if it feels like shit, well, obviously it's not a match to who you truly are, is it? Because who you truly are doesn't want to keep feeling like shit over and over and over and over and over again. So it's letting go of those thoughts. You recognize those thoughts when they're triggered. Okay, so I have a choice right now. I can let them go. I can take a breath. Where the thoughts go, they're gone, aren't they? Simple. They will return. They'll return less strong, less. They'll have less. They have less. What's the word? Influence over you. So it's what's there instead of the thoughts. To do this and to start doing this, and when the emotions are gone, the shame's gone, the hatred's gone, what's there? Well, it could be things beyond the mind. Like joys and exuberance and to be excited, but to be enthusiastic, enthusiasm, peace and just bliss, those types of things. Those things don't have opposites. What I'm saying is, and all of the emotions, etc., and ideas around ourselves, those vibrations, that are those conditioned vibrations and those conditioned ideas and thoughts and emotions around who we are that we've clung to in the past, they, I guess, have opposites. And that's to understand what I made this video about, was to understand the mind. And the mind, quite simply, is yin and yang, is positive, is negative, is what's the other word? Excuse me. You know what I mean? Opposing energies, so they feed each other. Negative feeds the positive, and opposites attract, etc. And that's it's been the truth for the past. It's about recognizing, well, there is the the conscious self, the aware self. So you might believe or whatever that you're nothing, you're shit, and then you might have the, I suppose, the truth of it, the truth of who you are, which is you're fucking great. you are great, you are beautiful, you are, etc., etc., and they're quite possibly a lot of the truth, the truths about yourself that you're resisting, because if you're to let go of the negativity around who you are, and there could be fears around doing that, because you could have been conditioned to fear feeling good, you could have been conditioned to fear feeling positive, and showing that those positive parts of yourself, and those to feel free, and to recognize that you are free, and to recognize that you are beautiful, and you are free to choose, and all these things, these choices might have been perceivingly beaten out of you, or you've been taught not to show those things, because if you're to show how beautiful you truly are, well, that makes somebody else feel insuperior, doesn't it? And that can't happen. So you've got to understand those. And then there's the other dynamic, which could be people that get around, they're all so positive all the time, but underneath, they're fucking negative and rotten underneath, and they've got that toxicness underneath that's hidden under the surface, and they get around pretending that they're so much better than everybody else, and they're so much prim and proper, and oh my god, I can't believe that person did that, blah, 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 running everybody down to make themselves feel better. And the type of people I guess I'm talking about, and the types of patterns, I should say, because those are just patterns as well. However, it's not up to you to decide when they let those patterns go. When they're ready, their own soul, or their own point of consciousness is going to guide them exactly where they need to go, whether it may be to face that fucking pain, and to be in the gutter with everybody deserting them, etc., because of the way they treat people. It could be that that's what they need, is to face that pain of the pain of not being accepted, etc., that they've been hiding. What I'm saying is they pretend to be positive, but they've got all this negativity they haven't addressed. And then it's on the other side of the coin is, there's a possibility that you have all this positivity and you're hiding it with all this negativity around your personality because of fear. You're afraid to show who you truly are, because you'll get judged, and you'll be alone. Well, fuck, we all have times where we're alone, and it's the loneliness kicks in, the feelings of shame. Loneliness to me is completely an emotion. Loneliness is an emotion. It is, the trigger is being alone. There's a trigger of an emotional pattern. I feel it's shame. There's a shame there. Okay, so I haven't got anyone because I'm not good enough. I'm, not attractive enough. I'm, and then you have all these stories that are attached to those things, and it's just a pattern. And it's the soul that's guiding you to be alone. So if you are by yourself, simply recognize that it's, a lot of the times to let go of those thoughts and those shitty vibrations around that, and to embrace that, and to learn to recognize that it is a positive thing. It is it can be time where you need space, you need the peace and quiet to learn and to recognize that it's okay to be by yourself, and we don't always need other people around to tell us what to do, or to tell us who to be, or to to run our lives, and to all of these things. And I mean, I'm not trying to say don't be in a relationship, because that's not the truth. You do what you want to do. I'm not saying anything. I just recognize those situations that a lot of the times you can learn to have appreciation for yourself a lot more when you're by yourself, and you can learn to appreciate the peace and the quiet and the solitude, and when people are around who you do actually care about, and you do want to spend time with, well, you'll be more present with them, won't you? You'll be there more. And it's, it's a lot of there's a lot of patterns, and like I said, there's thousands of years of accumulative patterns which exist in your mind right now, and the cumulative patterns can be passed on through generations. They can be passed on through energies that are around your particular situation. Example, spirits, people that have passed on, they can be of a low vibration, and even though they've passed and aware that they've passed, and they could be in that particular dimension, which is you're not quite aware of that dimension. So you're not quite aware of the dimension which exists within your particular consciousness, in which that energy signature, or spirit of somebody's past, or you may not be aware of that energy, and you could be sending your energy, a lot of those thoughts that come from holding on to that energy, or that energy is kind of within your field. You can believe it's you, and it's not. Simple. Our consciousness can become aware of thoughts that aren't even ours, and they could be, because we believe these thoughts, and because we might believe that we're negative. Oh my God, I'm so negative. I'm so you might complain a lot about a lot of shit, and a lot of the times, from my experience and what I can see into those dimensions, most people believe those thoughts as part of who they are, and a lot of the times it is the thoughts of somebody else that may not be here in the physical now. It could be thoughts of an entity. So an entity, when I say entity, is just an accumulation of energy that was created at some point, particularly by somebody, by a mind, let's just say, by somebody else's mind. So whether that is a product of the physical body of somebody died. So somebody died, right? Or what they call die. And then they've left behind their energy. So their energy can kind of hang around, and it can be a negative energy. And because if you're not aware of that energy, it could be taking that energy on, and it could be projecting that back out into the world and recreating through those thoughts of that other person, thoughts that might make you miserable, because you're kind of living somebody else's life. So if that makes sense, so you're recreating somebody else's thoughts, and you're taking on that frequency and that vibration of who that person was, and creating their life basically. So if you're in a place where you can recognize that all of those energies aren't yours, you can let them go. And it's quite simply by becoming aware of those energies and telling them to leave, telling them to fuck off, and it could be, like I say, an entity. It might not have been a person. It could be just a accumulation of energy that was, attached to a particular, like a property, an energy that was attached to a property, and you move into that property, and all of a sudden you start having these shit thoughts and these shit emotions, etc., and they're not even yours. Fears, they're not fucking yours, and once you recognize these things, it's quite simple to let them go, and there could be different processes to do that. However, it's quite simple. Your consciousness, your soul is going to guide you to become aware of them firstly, and let them go. And to it may not be the case. It may be somebody might come in and help you to do that, or there could be it might not be those types of thoughts. It could be thoughts of, like I say, generational thoughts. So you've carried them through your generation, in the energy of your particular family. So your family could be, they could carry around a lot of negativity, and you take that energy on because you possibly could, you could be like an outlet to everybody, or people that are in that situation, and they're projecting their shit onto you. Basically, they're projecting that energy onto you and saying, righto, this is who we are, this is who our family is, this is who you need to fucking be. And then no, you know, it's, I guess this is the like I said, the pivot point in humanity where we break free of those old patterns. We're breaking free and recognizing those generational, patterns as not who we want to be anymore. So we can let go of that energy, and they can say, right, well, you're this person. They can treat you like in certain ways, and you might retaliate. You might feel anger, and you might feel a need to speak up for yourself, which is it can be healthy, depending on your situation. And then there is the other version of that, which is, okay, you believe it, so you take the shit on, and then you go and you might withdraw from the world. You might go and hide. You might feel the shame and sit in the shame and believe the fucking shame, that was triggered. So, in recognition of what's going on there, is subconsciously that person is trying to trigger your shame. And you have to understand that people keep secrets. So, I guess part of let's just say my particular gift is I can see people's secrets. I can see their bullshit. I can see their deepest, darkest fears, and I can understand. Not only I don't judge people for things because I can see things that people think don't exist, and I've seen things that defy all reality and defy all beliefs every day. I see things that you see in the movies, and it could be your path to understand that parts of our who we are is not just so it's not just so four-dimensional. It's not just so, okay, so we have one mind, we have one body, and we have one soul. It's a little bit more expansive than that. We start at our own particular awareness. We start at our own particular point of consciousness. So we're aware of our own body, we're aware of our own life, we're aware of our own mind, so our own personalities. And a lot of the times, those collective personalities, they aren't ours. They aren't ours. And to recognise that there is a more individual knowing that is inside of us, all of us, and we might want to start to follow that and listen to that inner voice, that guidance, whatever you want to call it, and we can start to listen to that now. And the only place we can do that, and the only point of change, is to be here, to be present, and to understand that we don't need to know everything. We don't know everything for a start, and we don't need to know everything about what's going on. We don't need to explain what's happening all the time. We can just go with the flow. And we can just recognize that, okay, so there's fear there. Do I want to let go of the fear, and do I want to move into the unknown? Do I want to move into that uncertainty? Do I want to move into a direction that is, will spark change, that can empower, and not, I guess the opposite of that is to believe the shit that we've been believing about ourselves, and keep doing the shit that we've always done, and believe that, we have no control over our own lives, and we need to look to others to what to do, and we fucking don't. We have all the guidance inside of us, and sometimes it can be helpful to find, I guess, people like, I guess, myself, who will show you that you don't need anyone else. You have that guidance inside of you, and to show you how to find that. And if you're not quite aware of that yet, it's that process of sharing our gifts, sharing these things in which the world at large is called psychic, and mediumship, and bloody all that spiritual shit, and it's It is what it is, and each of us have these particular this particular gift, this particular. It's just, do we want to explore that? Do we want to move into that direction in which we may be more possibly than what we believe ourselves to be, or believed ourselves to be, or others believe us to be? We could possibly be more. We could be, we could be a little bit more than the mind and the body. We could be a little bit more expansive than what we are aware of right now. And we could find that in a place which we have never thought to look, or have never been, I guess, taught to look, or told to look, or everybody is looking, I guess, to go back into the mind and how a lot of the accumulative thought patterns work, and they're designed to live in the past and the fucking future. And the patterns, all of those patterns are all past and future. We fear the future, the fears of the future, the anxieties and the stresses, etc. The fears. What's going to happen? Why isn't this getting better? These ideas, and this isn't good enough, and these types of thoughts that can come in, and then it triggers what? So it triggers a fear. It could trigger a shame. Why is this not getting better? Because and the shame could be saying, well, it's because you're not good enough yet. You know what I mean? And to let go of all the shit, you can let go of it all, and you've got the fears and the anxieties, and then obviously you've got the shames and the guilts and all of those types of, and they're the past. They might not be even emotions that you've experiences from your life. They could be passed on through generations. You could have taken on basically the shame of your mother or your father or your carer or your uncle or your fucking aunt, or even generations before that. You could feel generations of the shame around race or religion or whatever the shame is there. It's all bullshit. Basically, we've just passed it on through the generations, and we've created these cumulative identities which are basically the same. Basically, in a nutshell, we live in this one big cloud of energy in which we believe all these things, and we believe we need to be different. We need to do this, to do that. When the truth of it is, if we let all that shit go, we are unique. We are different. It's letting go of the stories around the shame and releasing the shame, releasing the ideas around anger, which is what you call hate. So when I feel anger, I need to do this to stop the anger because I don't want to feel the anger. I'm not ready to experience that anger, and that person's causing that anger, so I need to do this about it. And what does it do? It feeds the fucking shame, doesn't it? Because, you react and you retaliate and you do this and you do that, and you're going to feel like shit afterwards, aren't you? Because you shouldn't have fucking reacted to that anger, should you? Or you shouldn't have reacted in that way. And a lot of the times in anger, it's good to speak up, like I say, to speak up and to be assertive. However, a lot of people use anger in a way to hurt other people, physically, etc. Or to, and it's not about feeling bad about this. It's just understanding those patterns, and are you ready to let go of it? Are you ready to let go of hate and see a different point of view? To take on a different personality. Well, am I somebody who hates? Or do I want to be somebody who understands, who is accepting, who is compassionate? Who can understand what that person's going through, and not react and take it personally, and maybe, obviously if it's a physical threat, you might have to act on that, and it could be. You might see somebody being emotionally abused or physically abused, and you might speak up instead of running away. You might You may speak up for that person and empower somebody else. It could be about that, you know. It depends on your situation, and like I said, it's about listening to yourself. Because you can't listen to, you know, other people aren't living your life, they're not having your experiences. Your particular experience in your life is yours to have and yours to have only. And like I say, there's going to be relationships that are going to come and go. People are going to come and go in your life, and they may be around for a little while. Some people might stay for a while. And to let go of the need to cling to somebody else, and the neediness, you know, the needs that you need somebody else, and just to replace that with appreciation for who that person is and accept them for who they are right now, even if they may be toxic. However, you know, a better way to manage that, if they're not ready to face that, could be to step away. Could be the most loving thing you can do is to step away. It could be the thing you might need is to step away, or to, you know, or to have a conversation, you know, in a way that you've never had a conversation before. It could be more beneficial. You know, what's more beneficial to you is, you know, to focus on you instead of that person. Well, they are the way they are. Excuse me. They are the way they are, and to accept them, you know, as they are, and what capacity that they're in at this point in their life, and maybe they'll never change, which is okay. And you know, you are here to change. You are here to move into and to recognize that, you know, the deeper truths about yourself. So it could be that possibility for you, you know, and you know, to empower yourself. You know, like I say, you might just need to refocus some of that beautiful energy of yours into yourself, and to recognize when other people are trying to steal your fucking energy, and to recognize just how powerful your energy is. Because if it wasn't so sought after and so powerful, why the fuck do they want it all the time? You know, why is it? Is it them that's more powerful than you because you're constantly giving them your energy, or is it possibly you could be, you know, on a more real spectrum, your energy could be precious. That's why they want it. They want the good. They want the bad. They want, you know, they just want your energy all the fucking time. There is a possibility that you could redirect that energy to yourself. Start looking after yourself a little bit more. Start putting your energy into things for you. Start putting in your energy, you know, and these people, they won't fucking like it because they're used to everything being about them. So you're going to have to recognize that this could hurt a little bit, because it could trigger some patterns that you might feel bad about yourself, because they want you to feel bad about yourself. They're trying to trigger that, so that then, you know, you're back under their control. So there could be a possibility that those triggers could come up. To recognize those triggers and say, you know what, fuck you. If those thoughts come in, you might have to tell them to fuck off. You might have to tell them to, no, okay, no, this is not who I am, or this is who I was, and now this is who I am right now. So there's a possibility for change there, and even if it's just a minute change, or to break free of that pattern, you know, and each time that pattern comes around, to recognize that, you know, I'm not about shame anymore. You know, we all make mistakes as such. We all learn. You know, every day is a learning possibility. You know, there's all these possibilities that can come up, and we learn to look after ourselves more. We learn to have nicer people around us. We learn to trust ourselves and our own instincts and our own gut feelings, and then our own knowing about what to do next. You know, we have little conversations with people about, we might want advice, etc. And, you know, and recognize, is that person sincere? Are they giving me energy back? Are they building me up? Are they in a good vibe? You know, and when people are in those negative, you're stuck with a person who has a negative vibe. Am I taking all their shit onto myself, and, you know, am I feeling like shit, basically, and taking all their shit off them, if that makes sense? So you can be taken on other people's energy, and, you know, you don't need to. It's their shit. And unfortunately, it's not your job to make everybody feel fucking better all the time. First, you have to start with you, and to learn how to do that. And we can only, I guess, choose to step out of what's called normal and what's called the society and those types of influences, etc., and those sorts of triggers and those types of distractions, and we can just learn to be quiet. We can just learn to be still. We can learn to be stuck in enthusiasm. We can ride those waves as they come. Like I say, to explain the mind is quite simply those thoughts and the emotions and etc. And to recognize when you're stuck in the mind, and we can redirect our attention into the present, into the now. We can bring ourselves, and let go of that resistance to being here right now. Whatever our mind's doing, whether it's thinking too much or it's fucking stuck in some shame patterns or it's stuck in some hatred patterns or whatever it is, we can take a breath. We can redirect our attention. We're alive now. We're here now. We have that choice. We've been given the choice to live our best lives. We don't have to be stuck in the past identities of ourselves. We can move into these, brighter, more vibrant ideas of who we are. Move into the higher vibe ideas. And where are these ideas? They're in our consciousness, and we can close our eyes and we can see the best version of ourselves. Not only can we see that best version of ourselves within our mind, which is our higher self, or which is who you truly are, or have you have, I guess, truly been all along. We can choose to be that person now. We can choose to take on that energy. We can choose to allow a greater consciousness, a higher consciousness, the higher self, higher power, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Allow that to run in our life, and allow that to, which is to let go of expectations, to let go of any fears of the future as they arise, to let go of any shames, guilts, etc. as they arise. Sometimes you might be, there might be a point where you need that anger to drive you. You need that anger to basically, there could be somebody who's dangerous in your life, and you need that anger to drive you away from that situation, to drive you into a better situation, to put the fucking fear back into them, really. Because it could be the other way around. They could feed off your fear. And that anger and that assertiveness could come out and, could drive you to stand up for yourself, you know what I mean? So there could be that. So there is no negativity around that particular emotion. It's just, if it's there and it comes up in a natural way, well, it's supposed to be there. And to kind of go with the flow of whatever arises. Like I said, to go with the flow is to recognize, well, am I stuck in the mind? Am I stuck in those patterns? And you have to be okay with that recognition as well, and not to resist or want it to change in any way, because there could be, well, there always is, I should say, there always is a reason for every single moment as it unfolds, exactly as it unfolds, exactly. You might not be able to see it when you're in the thick of it. However, on reflection of that, so we reflect, we could recognize, when you're in a calmer space, and to be in a more present space, and recognize those realizations. And those realizations, they just come. Simple. And we don't have to do anything to deserve it. We don't have to do anything to bring that on. It's when it's the right time, we just have those realizations, recognitions. We could be stuck in patterns of, oh my God, I fucking hate my life. Oh my God, I fucking hate this shit. Well, you can recognize, well, okay, there's a hate pattern. It's there. Okay, so where is this taking me? Is this taking me into the person I used to be? in that direction, or is there a possibility where I could be at a crossroads where I could let go of that story and recognize that that anger could be covering up some deeper pain? Pain that you don't want to face yet. Maybe you're not quite ready. Maybe you are ready. If it's there, if it's in your awareness, that pain's there, we can dissolve it. We can let it go. We can also ask our higher self. We can speak to that greater consciousness that we are, and we can receive as well. We can learn to receive and recognize that we deserve to be the best version of ourselves and receive. It might not be in a way that you're used to receiving as well. It could be, recognizing recognizing that a person possibly, that you may not have showed appreciation for. Maybe you could, recognize that, I guess an appreciation for every relationship, whether, that, like I say, some relationships are there to show us to stand up for ourselves and to be stronger, but some relationships are there to show us that, we could be missing out on a potential gift that somebody wants to give us. What I'm saying is, you could give somebody the time of day in which you never did before, and there could be, letting go of that expectation of a person, and you could receive the answer that you've been asking for through in a way that you've never thought that was possible, or you never thought that was there before, but it was always there. You just might quite not have been ready to receive that answer through that person or through that situation or thing or whatever. It could be through somebody that you say you hate, and there could be that possibility that if you let go of that, just let it go, just drop it. That it could allow that person to show up in a different way in your life than they have before, and I guess they'll be a reflection of how you your energy. They'll be a reflection of your energy, and they could reflect back to you if you let go of that lower vibration and choose a higher vibe. They could reflect that back to you, and you could get a lot of positive ideas or insights or learnings from people that you never really gave a lot of time to, or love to, etc. And like I said, it's an individual learning. So individually recognizing how what is my particular situation. Are there spiritual gifts involved? Like I said, psychic, etc. And we all have spiritual gifts. All of us, every single one of us. It's just, are we ready to receive and ready to expand our consciousness outward? Outward. When I say outward, I mean to recognize a higher truth. And a lot of times it's that paradox. So to recognize a higher truth out and expand outward, possibly we have to go within and recognize that all energy that is in our field is in our mind, which I say that our field and our mind is around us. It's in a vortex, I guess you could say, that is around our particular bodies, from one perspective. And we have all this energy that's there. It runs through our consciousness, and we become aware of these thoughts and these emotions, etc. And a lot of the times they're on repeat, so they just keep replaying over and over again. So one particular situation might happen every month. One particular situation might happen every day. Other ones every year, or there could be possible situations. Relationships, like intimate relationships, could trigger this particular pattern. It's about recognizing these patterns, and all energy can be let go of. All energy can be transmuted. All energy can be transformed. And it's willingness to let go of that shit And sometimes we might be on our knees, and we're we're begging for the pain to stop, or to let go of that energy, and not to believe that shit about ourselves. And you know and then the next day we could wake up and feel that peace, and recognize, shit, it's gone. And there's that appreciation. It could be that simple. It could be that simple, to let go of, like I say, all energy is mind. All energy, all vibrations, and like I say, every particular thought has a particular vibration. And if you're thinking, or let's just say, if the thought crosses your mind and you believe it and it feels like shit, well, it's probably not you. Simple. It's as simple as that. If it feels like shit, let it fuck go. Let the thought go. You don't fucking need it. You don't need to cling to it. And, when you do let these things go, a lot of the times there can be that, the death, the ego death, the death of the ego, which is basically like a little shit, a little shit time, I suppose. The time where all of that pain comes out, and you might need to show yourself some compassion on these days. You go through those ups and those downs. The mind, like I say, is the ups and the downs, the yin and the yang, the positive, the negative. And there could be a time where you did let go of one of those patterns, and then you've got the physical let go, which is going to be the pain. You let go of all that pain. What's underneath all that pain? Once the pain's gone, just peace. Just peace, and just life itself, just exuberance, and all these things that don't have opposites. Like I say, hate breeds shame, and etc. So you let go of the two of those, and what do you experience? Well, you're present, you're here now, and you experience the peace that surpasses all understanding. You experience the exuberance for life, the energy that drives life. You could experience that. And a lot of the times the conditioned mind might come in and say, well, you know what? I can't let go of that part of those thoughts and shit I've got about myself, because if I do, then who am I? Well, it's about moving into that unknown. Well, who the fuck can I be? Or who do I want to be? Is that a possibility? Can I just be who I want to be? Can I just have the personality I want to have? Can I be confident? Can I be expressive? Can I be, these things? And these types of words and thought patterns, they breed good energy. They recreate and feed a healthier mind, a healthier ego. And we don't have to add to our minds. We don't have to accumulate. We just have to let go. We just have to surrender. And it's quite simple. And like I say, a lot of the times you'll meet that resistance to it. You'll meet those thoughts that'll say, oh, what the fuck? Oh, there's the fearful thoughts, what's going to happen? Oh, this could happen, that could happen. Well, it fucking might, but then there's the possibility that it fucking doesn't happen too. It could even actually expand your life. It could actually improve your life. Do you want to move into the unknown and see what is possible versus do what you've always done? Maybe there is a possibility that you could learn a new way of being, which is, you can only do that now. And it's, like I say, it's listening to yourself. Listen to your own guidance. What drives you? Redirecting that attention to you and recognizing, that higher truth. And what's there that's, I guess, possibly causing you to resist that realization and recognition that, you possibly could be more than the body and the mind. Well, you might be infinite. You might be in connection with everything. You could be in connection with everything. You could be connected to that person that lives next door to you, And there could be, the the resistance to that connection, or there could be the resistance to allowing yourself to just be yourself, just be who you are. You know? Let go of the fears. The fears, if they're there, let them be there and move through. And like I say, the more you choose to let go of that resistance to the present, to the now, the more that field of now, that exuberance, dissolves the fears. You know, the more you realise that you don't need the fears. There is nothing to fucking fear. There's nothing. And recognising that those fears are just the patterns. You recognise a lot of the bullshit, I suppose, that society believes, and let them believe it. You know, let them do what they do. It's really, like I say, it is all happening on a grander scale. It's all happening exactly as it's supposed to happen. This is the pivot point. This is the tipping point. This is where we're coming into that awareness of our, you know, a higher truth. And, you know, you don't have to believe me. It doesn't matter, because I guess whatever it is for you is what it is for you. If your awareness is expanded to a point in which you're resonating with what I say, who gives a fuck what everyone else says? You know, and who cares what I, you know, it's all, it's an individual choice. Anyway, I hope that sort of clears up a lot of the, I guess, the ideas of what the mind is, and to recognize, you know, that we can transmute the mind. We can let go of any parts of the mind, any thoughts and any emotions. We can let them all go, and you know, we can be that presence. We can be that flow, the flow of now and the presence of now. We can experience that, and we can be that. So, thank you. So, yeah, thanks for your time, guys. Peace.